And just like that, we are live once again. We are back. We are live for a Royal Rumble post show, and in an upset, a shocking and surprising upset. It is not John Cena that wins the men's Royal Rumble match. It is indeed main event Jey Uso, living up to the moniker because he calls himself main event Jey Uso, and indeed he is going to the main event of WrestleMania. I say that because I still think the big angle that we saw in the Rumble between CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins is probably going to be leading towards a main event. I still think that CM Punk is going to get his WrestleMania main event. But I tell you what, I really did think about that show. First of all, I thought that was an absolutely top-notch Royal Rumble event. I mean, a lot of you probably have just come from the watch-along that KG and myself just did, and big up to KG, man. I mean, I hope you guys really enjoyed that as much as we did doing it, because that was just so much fun. This is the thing about, you know, wrestling, whatever, when you've got your friends there, you know, you guys, we're all collectively, I guess, friends, even though obviously we don't even know each other. Yeah. But that's just watching an event sometimes. It's just fun, isn't it? That's what pro wrestling's meant to be. It's just fun. And I tell you what, as a main event, I thought the Rumble match, certainly the men's Rumble match, delivered. I thought the first Rumble match was a good Rumble, but maybe with a predictable finish that maybe has a few people rolling their eyes. I thought we had a fantastic WWE Championship ladder match. And then we also had a WWE Tag Team title match that, let's be honest, I think delivered in the sense of it's a difficult spot. I mean, we know that Triple H likes these shorter match shows and, you know, 4 or 5 match cards. But I think ultimately, I think it delivered. I thought it was a good show. I thought it was an enjoyable show. And I'm interested to see where things go now when it comes to WrestleMania. So be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We'll get into all of it. We'll get into all of the matches. We'll get into where this could go, what's going to happen next. We're going to get into all of it. And if you are new to the channel, we do daily news videos looking at all things WWE, AEW, TNA, everything else in between. We do watch alongs, post shows just like this. Usually, with the post shows, we have actually like screen grabs of the images, but today was just a madness with everything that was going on with the watch log. So that's usually the format for the post show. So let's get straight into it. Let's chat. Let's talk about what we saw this evening. It began with the Women's Royal Rumble match, and predictably, Charlotte Flair is going to WrestleMania. There had been lots of rumors, hadn't there? There'd been lots of reports that Charlotte Flair was not only coming back. I mean, I think it was a report from WrestleVotes just a couple of days ago saying not only was Flair coming back, but to expect championship gold in her future. And I think we've already seen the start of that. She gets the victory. I did have issues with this match, and the issues that I had primarily with this one is obviously, you know, it's a bit like when Cody came back a couple of years ago. Remember when Cody Rhodes was out injured and he had the torn pec, and then they did the build up for a couple of weeks, didn't they? Cody Rhodes is coming back and he's going to enter into the Rumble. He came in at number 30. Charlotte Flair did something similar. She came in at a late number. And it became quite apparent quite quickly, oh, Charlotte's going to win. And this goes back to, I think, some of maybe the resentment towards Charlotte Flair is no one can ever question or doubt that Charlotte Flair as a talent, as an athlete, is fantastic. She's an unbelievable athlete. She's an unbelievable wrestler. She does credit to the Flair name. She, you know, is one of, if not the best, she's in the conversation to be one of the best female wrestlers of all time. No doubt about it. No doubt about that. But I just feel like maybe we wanted something a little bit different, and she didn't need to win the Rumble. She's won the Rumble once before in her career back in 2020. And that year she ended up facing Rhea Ripley for the NXT Championship. And it felt like at the time we just need to give Charlotte Flair something. And this happens a lot when you get to WrestleMania season with Charlotte Flair. Many a time they go, we just need to give Charlotte Flair something. Obviously, she was injured for last year's WrestleMania, so she couldn't compete. Year before that, what was she in? Title match against Rhea Ripley. One of the best matches over the WrestleMania weekend. It's not the matches that are the problem, but title match. Year before that, what was she in? You guessed it. Title match. Year before that, what was she in? WrestleMania 37. Was she in a title match? I can't even remember. It was Bianca versus no, she missed that year's WrestleMania, didn't she? I remember she missed that year's WrestleMania. Year before that, NXT title match. Year before that, WrestleMania main event. Year before that, title match. Year before that, title match. You see what it is? Every WrestleMania comes around, she will be involved in the title match. That's why she's 14-time world champion, because she's never not. For some reason, the booking of the Charlotte Flair character is Charlotte Flair wins the title. And they've still yet to figure out another wrinkle to the Charlotte Flair character, and that's not going to change. Now, I don't think she will win at WrestleMania. I just can't see that happening. There had been rumors and reports she's set to face off against Tiffany Stratton come WrestleMania. I think that's probably what's going to happen. They've teased it a lot in the past. You can see pictures of them together online. I think that's the match that they want. I was surprised to an extent to see the final two be her and Roxanne Perez. I mentioned this to KG on the watch along stream, and I don't know if you guys agree with me. I'll get some of your comments up on the screen in just a second. But I can't really put my finger on it, but it just felt like there was something missing from that. And we got to the number 30 spot. And I think a lot of people were expecting, right, it's going to be Becky Lynch that comes out now. We know Becky Lynch is under contract to WWE. People thought she was going to be at the Netflix premiere episode. She wasn't. They're saving her for the Rumble. She's going to be at the Rumble. And then it's Nikki Bella is going to be in the 30 spot. And everyone collectively went, okay, no disrespect, Nikki Bella. She's a Hall of Famer, and very, very popular. And certainly post WWE has been very popular, but it was okay. Nikki Bella comes out. She was in the match for what, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It was really kind of pointless. I don't think they set anything up, did they? I don't think they set anything up with Nikki Bella either coming out in the number 30. It just, the Rumble itself was fine. The finish was flat. The finish was flat. The finish was predictable. And you know me, as I've said many a time here on this channel, predictable is not a bad thing. But I don't have a problem with predictable as long as it's a predictable that people are happy to see, they're excited to see, and they're interested to see. It just felt a little bit, didn't it? Like this was, again, really. It could that have been a better spot for someone else? Did it have to be Charlotte Flair? But they're clearly setting up. I mean, I think the long-term goal would be for Flair to face off against Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. Stratton probably wins, as she should. But it was just a bit flat, that one. It was just a bit flat. But it wasn't a bad open. Of course, we've got newsworthy and noteworthy stuff coming out of it. Jordynne Grace, as officially a WWE superstar, she was involved in that. Did the spot with Nia Jax, which was fantastic. We had Trish Stratus, of course, come back as well. But I just, again, the finish felt a bit flat to me. I think the finish felt a bit flat. And I guess we technically got two babyface winners, even though for me, Charlotte's just never a babyface. She works so much better as a heel. It just doesn't work. But the finish was definitely flat, which I do think affected the match. But I think, again, we're getting Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. I just think she didn't need to win the Rumble to get there. You can go other routes. It wasn't required. I'd have liked to have seen, I don't know who the other person be. Someone else win the Rumble and face Rhea Ripley, at WrestleMania. That could have been the direction to go in. It just felt, again, very, very predictable, I think. But that was the Women's Royal Rumble match. Let's see what some of you guys are saying in the chat. Lil Yo-Yo says Charlotte didn't need it. What else are people saying here at the moment? 80 No Milk says this was lame, and I'm a WWE fan through and through. Ray Carl Brown says, I like the Women Rumble, but it was too predictable that they were going to book her to win. A lot of people sort of saying the same thing. Basically, it was flat. It wasn't needed. And I would totally agree with that. It wasn't needed. Charlotte Flair didn't need to win that to face. I mean, again, it's just that's always been my problem with the Charlotte Flair character, which is basically she wins the title. and also when she doesn't win the title, she disappears for ages. Obviously she's been injured this time out for a long time, but And actually, to be honest, me and KG were talking about this on the watch along too, that I don't know, like maybe it's over analyzing, but I thought she looked a bit shaky on that knee as well. Obviously, she wouldn't have been cleared if they didn't feel comfortable that she's fine and she's fully recovered. But it was one of those ones where it was like, what version of Charlotte Flair are we going to get back? Because she had a serious knee injury. She was out for a long time, over a year, tore every ACL you can possibly think of, CL rather, MCL, ACL, PCL, meniscus. Her knee was ripped apart. And you do wonder what version of Charlotte Flair are we going to be getting back when it comes to that too. So I think that's something very interesting to consider as well. Right. Next, we had the WWE Tag Team Championships on the line. And this, to be fair, was a bit of an unenviable position to be in because, again, being a four-match card, and let's be honest, and unless you've got like a stellar World Championship main event that the show's built around, when it comes to the Royal Rumble Premium Live event, pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, people come to watch for the Rumble, don't they? That's what people come to watch for. They come to watch for the Rumble matches. And again, unless there's like a big WWE Championship main event that they can get connected to, that they built it around. I think back to when it was like CM Punk versus The Rock at Royal Rumble 2013, or something big like that they tune in for. You go, okay, cool, fair enough. But people tune in for the Rumble. So the spot after, because it's usually a Rumble match opens the show and closes the show. The match after the first Rumble, that's a tough spot because the crowd are tired. They've just sat through an hour-long match, a finish that they're either happy or not happy with. Like, it's tough. Like, it's a difficult one. And to be fair, you've got two tag teams here in DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns that are going to try and give everything that they've got to try and get the crowd back on their side. And actually, I think that the 2 out of 3 full stipulation here was quite shrewd with whoever came up with it, because it was almost of the mindset that first fall, no one's going to care. And for maybe a third of this match, half of this match, no one really cared. Not that the action was bad, but it was just more of the sort of mindset that crowd's a bit tired, bathroom break, kind of waiting for the next one to happen. They know the WWE title ladder match is coming up in a bit. We're kind of a bit focused on that. That's what we're really looking for. So, this is just filling time. So the first fall it's the classic Sheamus, Cesaro, New Day fake out where you think they're going to go for the tag, doesn't go for the tag. It's the wrong man, gets the cover, hits the knee, 1, 2, 3 on Alex Shelley. We then get the second fall where the Guns hit their finishing move on DIY. Was it Skull and Crossbones? Makes it 1-1. And then in fairness, once it got to that third and final fall, crowd are into it. Crowd were invested. Crowd had got a bit louder. They started to sort of shake off the cobwebs of the Women's Rumble and started to get their energy back a little bit. And then we saw a finish that was, I thought, quite strange. I mean, from the storyline purposes, I get it. But you had someone in a hoodie come out. It's Montez Ford. Angelo Dawkins is out with a crutch, smashes the Motor City Machine Guns with the crutch and allows DIY for meet in the middle. They get the victory. And you're thinking, Street Profits, big heel turn. They're on the attack the baby faces. That's what they're going to do. But afterwards, they attack the champions too. So I guess a bit of a showcase for the SmackDown tag team division. I'm glad to see tag title representation on a PLE because I believe this is the first time either the WWE or the World Tag Team Championships have been defended on a PLE since they were separated last year at WrestleMania. They don't get defended on PLEs. They usually get defended on the Raw or SmackDown prior to the PLE. So I guess it's good for the tag team titles that they're there. But make no mistake, this was, the filler match for the crowd to get their energy back. And by the time the match closed, they did. So I guess I give them credit for that. Super chat from Jadine says, Owen, Money in the Bank is before WrestleMania, right? Incorrect. It is in usually sort of July, just before sort of SummerSlam. So no Money in the Bank cash-ins or anything like that. And there aren't any active Money in the Bank contracts right now. So that happens again around about sort of June, July in the summer. There used to obviously be Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. It used to be a staple of WrestleMania, but it was too popular, you know, too popular, so popular that had to have its own pay-per-view in the end. So yes, that'll be coming up later on this year. Next up, speaking of ladders, we had the Undisputed WWE Championship match. And this is when I go back to being predictable isn't always the worst thing in the world. Everyone, isn't, you know, me and KG were joking on the watch along, but everyone knows Cody Rhodes is winning this match. Cody Rhodes is winning this match and retaining the WWE Championship. We all knew that was going to be the case. But what they did very well in this match is they told the story coming into it of, you know, is Sami Zayn going to get involved? With Sami Zayn getting involved, how could that lead to the finish? You're already basically trying to predict the finish in your head. You're already trying to go, okay, I know Cody's winning. And the question is, how is he going to win? And I'll tell you what, Kevin Owens took a hell of a beating. And I tell you what, Kevin Owens in this feud has given his everything to it. You know, you think about the story that they have told of them being, I mean, they first faced off last summer at Bash in Berlin. And I think, again, it is another example of this, you know, narrative that nowadays with pro wrestling, they can't tell long stories. Or you can't tell long stories because fans don't have the attention span to follow it that long. And it goes back to, it's a bit like some of the bloodline stuff, isn't it? It goes back to, if the story is good enough and realistically the performers are good enough at carrying the story, you can tell a story over many a month. It's just got to be a good story. And to be fair, with, I think, largely Kevin Owens' performance throughout all of this, the heel turn, the logic behind the heel turn, and the performance that he's put in, I think he deserves a ton of credit because he's carried a story and he put in one hell of a performance this evening. And, you know, fair play to Cody as well. Took some rough bumps, took a fisherman's buster off the rope onto the ladder. And once they did that spot where Owens puts Fisherman Buster Rhodes onto the ladder, and you have obviously the security come out and the officials, the referees, and everyone, the doctors all checking on him. Looking back on it, that was just a way to get Sami Zayn to ringside because they're trying to plant the seed of, oh, is Sami Zayn going to interfere? Is he going to do the right thing? Is it going to be for Cody? Is it going to be for Kevin? What's going to happen? How is he going to get involved? And we get to the finish. We go to the finish where it looks like Kevin Owens is going to hit a package pile driver onto Cody Rhodes through a ladder set up between the ring and the announce table at ringside. Cody manages to wriggle out, puts him into an Alabama slam. And again, credit to Kevin Owens because he took one hell of a bump through that ladder. That bump there was no joke. Seriously, no joke. And he sold it so well too. He got his head wedged between two rungs of the ladder so that he was effectively standing on his head through it. And throughout the post-match, he sold it and he was bleeding because earlier on in the match, Cody had slammed Kevin Owens' head multiple times into the announce table. I think he got color hard way for his eyebrow, which is one of the easiest ways to get color hard ways. You just, you know, it doesn't take a lot to split an eyebrow. So, you know, Kevin Owens is bleeding afterwards after Cody has unhooked the championships. And they had this weird thing where afterwards Cody's climbing up the ladder and he's unhooking the titles and you're just kind of waiting. Is Sami Zayn going to do anything? And he didn't in the end. He didn't get involved, which I think obviously is going to plant the seeds, isn't it, for Kevin Owens feeling that he was betrayed by Sami. You were there. You could have stopped this. You could have helped me, but you didn't. So it looks like we're going to get Kevin versus Sami again at WrestleMania, which I didn't have a problem with because they could fight forever, and I think that's fine. I suppose my one complaint would maybe be, and they're saying, like I said on the press conference, that maybe Cody Rhodes is too injured, but there is an element, isn't there? And I think WWE have to walk a very fine line when it comes to this of we are getting into Super Cody territory, aren't we? I mean, he was so injured and so damaged that we had officials, referees, general managers, doctors running out because Cody was incapacitated. 2 minutes later, he's Alabama slamming Kevin Owens through a ladder, climbing up unhooking it, and afterwards he's holding up both belts, celebrating over his broken body. I thought you were injured 2 minutes ago. And it's that kind of stuff, that kind of sort of inevitable. It was the same with Cena. It was the same with Roman Reigns, wasn't it? If you venture too close to that kind of Superman-esque character, you sort of run the risk of the kind of wrath of it not feeling organic anymore. You run the risk of going, this feels a bit too corporate, shoved down my throat kind of thing. I'm not saying it's there yet, but I'm just saying that that's a risk they need to play. And look, Cody's been champion now for over 300 days, won it at WrestleMania last year. I can't see him dropping it to anyone anytime soon, unless he did drop it to Cena 17 times at WrestleMania, which I think is a possibility. But I just need to be a bit careful when it comes to that. But clearly, you see the directions that they're going in, and it's going to be obviously, I think, versus Sami versus Kevin at WrestleMania. Cody, I still think, faces Cena regardless of Cena not winning the Rumble. But I just think they have to be very careful with that. With that, Cody, he's undefeatable, because it doesn't feel like there's this heel foil there at the moment. You know, I think that's why people loved Cody so much last year, because Roman Reigns top heel, and it felt like Cody Rhodes such a baby face, right? There's a top baby face to take the title off the top heel. Who's the top heel now to take the title off Cody? And I don't know if there is one. I'm not sure if they found that just yet, because they've got quite a lot of strong baby faces in WWE at the moment. So and arguably the other top heel in the company, Gunther, Cody beat at Crown Jewel, the Mega Championship that he had over his shoulder. So I think they just that's still on the horizon. I don't think it's a problem anytime soon, but it's just something they need to consider of, actually, who's this top heel that Cody's going to be feuding with in the future? Who's that next one? Or is it going to be a thing like Echo saying there in the chat, where actually the top heel is Cody, and you actually stretch out his championship reign a bit like CM Punk's at the time, long reign back in 2012 to 2013, where he won it as a babyface, carried it as a babyface for a while, and then he switched heel and carried it even longer. Sort of the arrogance is in holding the championship for that long. The arrogance and the actual villainy is being that great and being the superhero until you turn. Maybe that's what it kind of is. But I think there is something to consider for the future. So keep an eye, I think, definitely on that one. And finally, of course, we have the main event, which I think everyone was waiting for, which is the Men's Royal Rumble match. And this match for me is one of the Royal Rumble matches that I've enjoyed most in a very, very, very long time. I think in recent years, WWE, I think, have struggled to put on, quite good Rumble matches. Now I think back to the men's one in 2023 was actually pretty good, but this one I think truly did deliver. The best Royal Rumble matches for me is they're like in chapters. They've got defined chapters and they build to a fantastic crescendo. And I think this Royal Rumble match had excellent chapters. You've got sort of the start with the Rey Mysterio Penta part of it. You've got really sort of the Bron Breakker element of it, where he dominates it for a while. You then build into the big names coming in. Reigns, Cena, Punk, Rollins, all coming in around at the same time. And you build to a crescendo, which is a surprise outcome that nobody really expected. And I think because of that, I don't think you can ask for much more. I mean, one of the highlights of it for me has to be they did a spot where it looks like Akira Tozawa's coming out. And actually, the way they shot this, I thought was excellent. Akira Tozawa's coming out, and you see, I think it's Carmelo Hayes, and he's just been eliminated, and he's furious, and he just, to be fair, he didn't really hurt Akira Tozawa that much. He just hit him once. That's enough to take him out the Rumble. And they follow him into the gorilla position. And you see Triple H there, and he's going, he can't compete, he can't compete. And Triple H goes, need a replacement, need a replacement. He looks around, there's ISO Speed. Now, we knew he'd been invited to the Rumble. It was all on social media. They go, Speed, go out there. Speed goes out there, actually eliminates, was it Otis? He eliminated, I think it was. Eliminates one person, but like, oh my God. I will give, look, I mean, people can talk shit all they want about streamers, YouTube celebrities, social media stars, they're not real celebrities. They're not this, they're not that. Hey, I Show Speed is more well-known or recognizable than some like D or C list television star. When you've got like millions and millions and millions of subscribers, followers, that is celebrity nowadays. That is influence nowadays. People are making millions off that nowadays. People are launching companies off that nowadays. And I Show Speed, to his credit, got in the ring, and Bron Breakker, and I'm trying to think of the most sort of articulate way to explain what happened. If you didn't see this, Bron Breakker speared the fuck out of him. I mean, it was like a scene from a Jackass movie. You know, when you see in Jackass, you see Johnny Knoxville get run over by like a car or a bull or something like that. And you think there is no way of faking that. He has just taken a hit from an animal, and it's just gonna hurt. That is just going to suck. That is what I Show Speed did in this Rumble. Bron Breakker, to be fair, I think wrestling veterans around the world would probably shake Bron Breakker's hand, because that's what would have happened back in the day. Back in the day, if celebrities got involved and you would have wrestlers protect the business, they go, I'm going to protect the business, this ain't fake, and they just punch him for real. You know, they wouldn't do a worker's punch, or they'd make sure they left a bit on it. Bron Breakker nearly killed him in the middle of the ring, and fair play to Speed, because he took it, and it was awesome. It was amazing. Like it was incredible. So that was amazing. And to be fair, with the declared entries, we knew we were building to, you know, Punk, Roman, Cena, Rollins. I don't think anyone thought Jey Uso. I don't think anyone thought that. But you have a spot whereby Logan Paul eliminates. We see a lot of eliminations here. Eventually, we see Rollins, Punk, and Reigns all get eliminated around the same time. I think it's Punk eliminates Rollins, or it's Rollins eliminates Roman. No, is it Punk eliminates Rollins and Logan Paul eliminates both? No, it was Punk. I'll get this right. Punk eliminates both Rollins and Reigns, and then Logan Paul eliminates CM Punk. That's it. And then all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose around ringside. They're going crazy. Seth Rollins, I would assume, turned heel. I think Rollins turns heel because he stomps on CM Punk, but he stomps on Roman Reigns, and he keeps attacking Roman Reigns. Stomps his head into the steel steps. It's crazy. It's going nuts. Paul Heyman looks shocked. He's going absolutely insane. And this is quite interesting. We didn't hear what Punk said to Paul Heyman, but I would assume this would be something about the favor. And I think what's quite curious about this is there had been a lot of rumors and reports suggesting that one of the big matches we were getting for WrestleMania was going to be Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. And there was a possibility that could be a main event of night one. It was not a night two main event, but that could be a night one main event. And Punk was going to get this main event that he'd been looking for. It feels to me now that this feels triple threat-ish, doesn't it? Because obviously there's a lot of stories to be told here. Punk's got the issue with Rollins, which felt resolved after the Raw Netflix match. But at one point, Punk versus Rollins was planned for this year's WrestleMania. I mean, Punk versus Rollins was planned for last year's WrestleMania, and then Punk got injured. And then, obviously, they had the match on Netflix, but it was planned at one point for this year's WrestleMania, but they decided to do it on Netflix. So that was a part of it too. You know, so it looks to me, it feels to me triple threatish. And now I think we're probably going to get Rollins, Punk, Reigns. That's going to be probably main event, I think, night one, a WrestleMania, perhaps. So we then get down to the final two. We get Cena, we get Jey Uso. And I think most people thought, hey, Cena's going to win this one, which again, didn't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with predictable, you know, Cena's retirement tour, Cena's retirement year. It's going to be Jey Uso that wins. And it's going to be Cena that wins, rather. Jey Uso's getting a rub from being in that spot with Cena. It's fine. That's not what we got. Jey Uso eliminates John Cena in a shocker and wins the Royal Rumble. And it was funny, actually, because towards the end of the watch long, when it was them as the final two, it kind of did just sort of dawn on me a little bit. I went, you know, I tell you what, Jey Uso could win this because someone's got to face Gunther at WrestleMania. And if it's not going to be Rollins, if it's going to be Rollins, Punk, and Reigns, and I still think we get Cena versus Cody, it would make sense, actually, that they run back Uso versus Gunther and Uso wins. That's how they do it. Many people wondered when it came to Saturday night's main event, I can't believe Uso lost again. How are they going to have him win the world title? How is he ever going to be believable as a challenger? I'll win the Royal Rumble. So he wasn't buried when he lost to Gunther on Saturday night's main event. They were setting him up to win the Rumble. And it makes sense in the sense that, you know, Jey Uso gets a tremendous reaction. He sells a shit ton of merchandise. He's very, very popular. You know, I think when the bell rings, it leaves a bit to be desired. But you saw it when Jey Uso won the Intercontinental Championship last year. That place went mad, absolutely crazy. And I think WWE might be looking at it going, we haven't really, you know, really got behind him as a main eventer. You know, we've kind of flirted with that idea, but he's been involved in the Bloodline storyline, you know, IC title matches, couple of world title matches, but never sustained top babyface. There's money to be made there. And you know, it was a surprise. Everyone thought Cena was going to win. I think in Elimination Chamber, because again, every place Cena's going, it's Cena's last place. So it's going to be Cena's last time in Canada, Cena's last Elimination Chamber. I think Cena wins that. And he'll face Cody at WrestleMania. And I still think he'll win because he's not going to retire to the end of the year anyway. So overall, I thought it was a very enjoyable show. Very much enjoyed it. I think, again, the men's Rumble match was really, really one of the better Rumble matches that they've done in quite some time. Women's Rumble, bit predictable. WWE title match, obviously predictable in the outcome, but I thought the match absolutely delivered too. So no complaints, really. Fantastic show, and interested to see certainly where they go next. No doubt about it. So there you go, guys. Be sure to click the like button. We're nearly at 100 likes. We've got close to 160 people watching, which is great at this time in the morning. So if you haven't already, let's click the like button. Let's get to 100 likes. Big up and appreciate everyone that's tuned in this evening, that's subscribed. If you're new subscribers, I genuinely can't believe we got to 19K. I am flabbergasted and stunned that we've got there. Now we're on the road to 20K, which was my target by the end of the year. So I really appreciate everyone that's tuned in for the first time. Really appreciate everyone for sending their super chats in, sending their comments in, clicking the like button this evening. I think it's all-time records for this channel, which is how I even started doing this madness on YouTube, was this channel. And I will always continue to do it because it's just a passion project. It is my baby since day one. This channel, I think, has been around for like 6 years this year or something ridiculous. So it will never go away. It will never die. And I appreciate everyone for tuning in and supporting. I hope you enjoyed the watch along with KG and myself. Hopefully we'll get to do more of them this year too, because that was a lot of fun. And I think you guys really enjoyed it too. I'm going to get some sleep because I've got to be up to do United View tomorrow, and I'm going to be very, very tired. So big up. Appreciate you all tuning in, and I will speak to you again very soon. I'm out of here. Peace.